remember chalk hearts melting on the playground wall? Do you remember stone escapes from moonwash college halls? Check 1 2, check 1 2, check check check, check 1 2. Do you remember cherry blossoms in the market square? Do you remember? I thought it was confetti in our hair. By the way, didn't I break your heart? Please excuse me. I never meant to break your heart. So sorry. I didn't want to break your heart. But you broke mine. No. Kaylee, I'm still trying to write that love song. Kaylee, it's more important to me now you're gone. La-di-da-di-da-di-da-da-dum. How did it come to this bitter end? Saturation 240, let's say 1 2, and default. That looks good. I'm still trying to write that love song. Kaylee, it's more important to me now you're gone. Maybe it'll prove that we were right, or it'll prove that I was wrong. Kaylee, I'm still trying to write that love song. We still haven't grabbed the intro song yet. All right, I will go down to browse, look for downloads, intro song new. Click. Okay, hey, bonjour.
Bonjour.
Welcome to Bonjour, Nana Bonjour. I am Nana Bonjour.
And I am Natasha.
And we'd like to invite you to join the Bonjour Crew membership channel. For $4.99 monthly, you get exclusive perks, exclusive members-only live stream, Auntie Tasha's moment of wisdom, huh, sweetie?
That's right.
And after today, I'd say
candid behind-the-scenes discussions with creator Michael Lyons, and new music videos, dead celebrity interviews from heaven, what have you, and of course, cat videos of Bagheera.
These were the golden days.
Click the link below. Join the Bonjour Crew membership channel, $4.99 a month. We'll see you there. And I will see you again. Kiga wabba min. Minowa.
So it goes, or so they say. Time's like a mountain skate. Well,
I don't know, but I can't complain. Baby,
God knows I've got my
own escape. And here we are. Bonjour. All right, take two. Take two. Take two. Where are we? Should we watch the other thing? Nah, I'm just going to pick it up. Today's Ojibwe word of the day is, but of course, where did I put it? We've got way too many of these.
Yeah, I know.
Member list, let's dance, prayer by. All right. And it's down here somewhere. Village people word dog. Anamosh. Anamosh. Dog. Today's Ojibwe word of the day. Anamosh. Dog. And look at this picture, kids. Here's a picture of a dog. Anamosh. Isn't that cute? Oh, I just love him. Anamosh. That's a good drawing too, huh? Should we pull that up? Let me make that a little bigger. You know what's really interesting about this is that, you know who drew this? Okay, before we get that far. Can you say Anamosh in all together now? Animosh. Animosh. Very good. Animosh. Say hi, Animosh. Hi, Animosh. Hi. Hi, Animosh. Animosh dog. And this drawing of this dog was drawn by, that's right, kids, Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler. Can you say Hitler? Hitler. Say hi, Hitler. Hi. Come on, kids. Everybody in the class, all together now, say hi, Hitler. Hi, Hitler. What? Would that be funny if I went to a like a classroom visit and got all the kids to in unison shout hi, Hitler? Anyway, this is a drawing that Hitler, who was a pretty darn good drawer if you ask me, drew of his dog Hitler. And today I want to talk a little bit about Hitler's dog. Because you see, our other Ojibwe word of the day is narcissistic personality disorder and narcissistic abuse. I'll be honest with you, I'm just learning about this stuff. So I'm just going to share what I've been learning. And I'm going to start sharing more about my life. This show may become more about surviving abuse. Specifically, narcissistic abuse. So, let's get started with a story. Come around, children. Today's story hour by your Auntie Tasha, Auntie Natasha. Anamosh, Hitler's dog. So Hitler had a dog. If you don't know who Hitler is, Hitler was the boss of Germany back in the days of the grandfathers. And he went to war. He invaded a bunch of countries. And he allegedly, I don't want YouTube to get mad at me. He allegedly was responsible for killing 6 million Jews. 6 million Jews. Now I'll talk about the Jews in a minute. So this is going to get our channel taken down. So the story is Hitler had a dog and he drew a picture and he loved his dog. And people like to tell the story. It's like, even Hitler had a dog. And I always heard that story and it kind of humanizes Hitler. You sort of go, oh yeah, maybe Hitler wasn't all bad. But this isn't really about Hitler. This is about narcissism and narcissistic abuse. If you don't know what narcissism is, I used to think narcissism was like ego. Somebody thinks they're all that, all mucky muck, as my grandmother might say. A narcissist, that's part of it. They might think they're really cool. But a narcissist is like, they think they're super cool. but they're really insecure underneath. They act like they're really important and special and good looking, but they feel just the opposite. But the problem is they don't know that they're narcissists. Because the thing with a narcissist, and you might ask yourself, maybe you already know this, but a lot of us, not as many as there are narcissists, but a lot of us grew up with narcissists. You might have a narcissistic parent, maybe both of them. Maybe you had a brother or a sister or a friend or every friend you've ever had or all of your whole family. Believe it or not. I come from a narcissistic family of abuse. And I know some of you already know about the show and everything, but I won't get into details just yet. We're talking about Hitler. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to sway from my discussion of Hitler. So Hitler, he was a big boss of Germany and he killed a bunch of Jews. And he had this dog. And there's another story about dogs. I don't know if it's Hitler's dog in particular, but Hitler's dog would have done this. So let's say it's Hitler's dog. Back in the days of the grandfathers, Hitler's dog, let me back up. So people always say, well, Hitler couldn't have been all bad because he had a dog, right? I mean, sure, his whole life was about as evil as we can picture. No, it's not. It's totally not. A narcissistic mother who abuses her child is worse than Hitler. But, Hitler's dog. Are we going to have to redo this?
No, just keep going.
Okay. People never consider maybe Hitler was really bad to his dog. They go, well, how could he be bad to this dog? He drew his dog. He loved his dog. Yeah. Sometimes narcissists can appear to love somebody. And that's why it might be so hard to admit, even to yourself, that maybe somebody you love is not only a narcissist, but abuses you because of that narcissism. Because here's the other thing about narcissists. Narcissists have a thing where they can't love. If you're not a narcissist, you'll understand this. Or it's kind of like, you might be a narcissist if you've already dismissed me, you're probably a narcissist. If you already kind of went, oh, this is cute, I'm not a narcissist. No, I know I'm not. If you ever asked yourself, am I a narcissist? You probably aren't one, right? But if you aren't sure you're not one, you are one. Narcissists can't do what we real human beings can do. And that's know a person and love them and not love them for any reason that we get out of it. There's no exchange. It would never occur to you. Like I think about my grandma. My grandma thought I was the best. She thought, that the sun rose and set on Natasha. Every stupid little old lady thing about me is my grandma. And, I grew up with, a woman who, just lit up every time she saw me. I understood it when I was little because I was really cute. But when I got older, you would swear she just saw some cute little kindergarten kid walk in, and I come lumbering into the room, all grown up, but she had that same, oh, I love her, right? And if you're not a narcissist, you probably know people that you feel that way about. I'm gonna need to get a drink of water. So, you know, but you can really love and admire and want to protect, and this is why you've never been able to recognize all the narcissists around. There's all these people who have inflated sense of self and this thing that makes them act cruel. And you have figured out why they unconsciously do really, really hurtful things in every way. And you spend your life going, why? Why did she? Why did he? Trying to figure out, because you love him. You know that, well, okay, yeah, I know he's got some rage issues or whatever, but why would he not say thank you? Why did he forget to say thank you? Should I tell him? And you go, hey, did you like my present I gave you? Be like, yeah, that thing's great, yeah. And you go, oh, yeah, he's so rude. But he doesn't mean anything by it. He's not trying to hurt me. Actually, he is. And he'd argue, and by this time, you got his voice in your head, making you second guess anything you know to be true. Now you're making a big deal of it. Because you also know if you go, hey, you know what? You didn't say thanks. So, oh, get out of here, you drama queen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's the greatest gift I ever got. Well, you know, you expect a lot. You know, they'll divert and then gaslight. And gaslighting is when a person, they do it a million times. And people kind of say, yeah, you know, everybody does this. But not everybody does this. People who can love don't just get any kind of satisfaction or any kind of happy feeling out of seeing something bad happen to somebody they love. There's two types of people. People who laugh at people who slip on ice, and people who don't. The people who didn't choose some sort of moral superior or whatever. They just don't get it. But narcissists, they have an evil spirit. And I've got cotton mouth. I gotta get a drink of water. Turn down the light, turn down the bed, turn down these voices inside my head. Lay down with me, tell me no lies, just hold me closely and don't patronize me. 'Cause I can't make you love me if you don't. You can't make your heart feel something it won't. Here in the dark, in these final hours, I will lay down my heart. I feel the power that you don't. No, you won't. 'Cause I can't make you love me if you don't. If you don't. love you don't feel when you're holding me. Morning will come, I'll do what's right. Just hold me, baby, and I'll give up the fight. And I will give up this fight. Oh, 'cause I can't make you love me if you don't. You can make your heart feel something it won't. Here in the dark, in these final hours, I will lay down my heart, and I feel the power that you won't. No, you won't. 'Cause I can't make you love me if you don't. If you don't. If you don't. If you don't.
Oh, what?
So, in conclusion, before I sign off here, dogs. Dogs are awesome because they say that back in the days of the grandfathers, Hitler beat up his dog, kicked him, thrashed him. You know how he was. Furious temper. He was like, Achtung, whatever. Beat him up, put him in a tar paper bag. Tied that bag up, threw him in the back of the car in a trunk. Left him there for 20 minutes. He came back 20 minutes later. Opened up the trunk, opened up the bag. And that dumb dog was happy to see him. He was all like, hey, it's Adolf. You're the best, Adolf. Hi, Hitler, said Anamosh. Hi, Hitler. And that's the way dogs are. Now, if you're not a narcissist, you understand that actually that's the right way to be. Everybody else will say, that dog is so stupid. You know, if I was that dog, I would have got out and tore into Adolf. I'd be like, not today, Adolf. You gonna stuff me in a bag? Well, watch out. And people say, well, you had the right to do that. You got to stand up for yourself. And then people also Christians will have it backwards. They'll think, Jesus said you should love your enemies and you should turn the other cheek. And if somebody hurts you, you should forgive them. No. That's narcissism. I finally saw through all that. God does not want you to perpetuate your own abuse. If somebody ignores you, that's not okay. That's abusive. Especially unforgivable if it's somebody who knows who you are. That kind of passive, like you keep on trying to deny your own reality because you've been gaslit for so many years. Well, they have no idea how much it hurt me, so I'm not going to say anything either because they're kind of weird, but you still love them. You forgive them because that's what Jesus would do. Well, it occurred to me today. I was like, no, absolutely not. I don't think we have Jesus right at all. Here, hang on. So this is Hitler, right, kids? Don't forget, Hitler. Bye, Hitler. But Jesus. So people think that what Christians are supposed to do, honor your mother and father, love your enemies, forgive, forget, forgive them, Father, they know not what they do. I always thought that too, and you're like, okay, fine. And my whole life, my understanding of God and Jesus and how I thought maybe I could find some way to quit being so fearful of the world, so confused, always struggling, always, all these wounds. Why doesn't anybody ever notice? Am I real? Does anybody care about how I feel? It's been kind of a heavy week. You all right down there? Yeah, I'll be okay. Okay. So, Jesus, turn the other cheek. Love your enemies. I now realize that no, the narcissists who talk about Jesus, the narcissists who interpret the Bible, have gotten it all wrong, and they're just perpetuating narcissistic abuse. Jesus, I don't think he was passive and forgiving. Yes, Jesus loved his enemies. They always say, oh, you should try to be like Jesus. Well, narcissists don't know that you probably are. If you love somebody who hurts you, like a parent, something, that's loving your enemy. And turn the other cheek. That was written and interpreted by probably one of the Pharisees, they call them, Jewish bankers in the Bible. You see, Jesus was a carpenter. And he came into town one day. And he went up to the temple, the religious temple. And there's a whole bunch of Jews. Where's that picture of Hitler? No, a whole bunch of Pharisees or whatever. The money changers. They speak in code, right? So we don't know what they're talking about. But they turned a church into a bank. It's kind of what they want us to believe. But then they kind of go, well, so Jesus went, hey, what have you done to my father's house? And he turned over the tables. Turn the tables, as they say. No, he didn't. He went in there and started kicking ass. He was like, what are you doing? This is just the guy from Nazareth or whatever. He had no legal right to do what he did. So he goes in there and he loses his temper. And not only does he turn over he just went in there and was like, hey, come on. Throws it out there, grabs a whip, starts whipping on these guys. Just all you have to do is believe in Jesus and he'll forgive you. All right, are you so sure? Because then, they arrest him and crucify him. And they love to tell us, the last thing he said was, forgive them, Father. They know not what they do. And that's more telling the abused person, well, Jesus would want you to forgive the people who abuse you, as he forgave. Well, that's normal people, probably narcissists, interpreting that story. I think Jesus said, forgive them, Father. They don't know what they do. Just like we've been doing and you've done your whole life, to forgive those people you love. You keep on telling yourself, just forgive your mom. She doesn't mean it. She doesn't know what she does. She was abused. She's probably just so distracted or, whatever. She thinks her job is really important. So, you keep it forgiving, but what you're doing is denying your own truth and invalidating the truth at all. Love your enemy, forgive them. Well, Jesus asked God, his dad, to forgive him because he knew what kind of temper and violent revenge God the Father has. Remember the flood? Jesus like, Father, hang on. Don't forgive him, Father. Yeah, he was asking his dad to forgive him. He had to remind God to forgive him. He wasn't sitting up there going, hey, by the way, one day, Bible writer. Yeah, get this line. I'm about to say something to God. Can you hear me up here? Okay, hang on. Forgive them, Father. They know not what they do. Did you get that? Yeah, that's a good one. All right, bye. Then you go, did he die? Well, the Bible doesn't teach you anything. The people who interpret the Bible can be you, can be the society, the church, whatever. But they say he died and 3 days later was resurrected. Yeah, okay. If you believe that story, you'll be okay. Because God so loved the world that he gave his only son to die. Don't you feel good knowing that Jesus died for you? And you got to go, yeah, thanks, God. I'll remember to thank you every day for my entire life. For this bizarre act no one can explain to me. And I'm afraid to question. I'm afraid to not believe. Well, that's because I didn't understand it. And those people never understood it either. No, you don't. You can't just go to heaven if you believe a story that's written in a book. But so you ask yourself, okay, what do you mean by did he die? Maybe his heart stopped, he stopped breathing, his brain stopped functioning. I mean, nobody has any record of what actually happened. But yeah, okay, let's say he, by our definition, any definition, died for 3 days and then came back to life. Well, if you were like crucified and your heart stopped for 5 minutes and that guy goes, oh, and came back and you go, whew, you'd go, wow, that dude was legally dead and he came back to life. That guy's tough. How tough is that guy? Jesus was so tough. He was like that, only it took 3 days. Fully dead. Body started decomposing. But this old carpenter couldn't even that. So on the 3rd day, he's like Wolverine. And nobody knows. He might have been built like Hugh Jackman or whoever. 3 days later, he's like, urgh. And he comes back to life. He pulls the shroud of Turin off and he stands up in all his glory. And he's like, Jews! Jews! No. And he goes, oh, I'm back. And he moves the thing aside. He struts out of there, just confident. That's how you should be. That's how we should all be. The moral of Jesus and his teachings had nothing to do with endure your abuse. Love. Oh, here's the other one that occurred to me. I had been praying on losing faith. I went through a spiritual crisis, a full-on. Spent the last 4 or 5 years really trying to be a Christian again. I mean, I was raised Christian and all this stuff, but suspending my disbelief, doing everything I've been taught, the best I could. Everything, praying, reading the Bible, contemplating, And I got to a point where I kept on believing less and less and finding holes in the stories, and I wasn't seeing any response from God for my prayers. Even though I thank him for everything, thank you for providing for me, God. This is a delicious sandwich. Trying not to take whatever gifts I think he may have given me for granted, you know. You know, I'm always talking about, oh, don't take stuff for granted. Well, I finally got to a point where it's like, okay, I know I'm not worthy to ask, blah, blah, blah. The kind of stuff we do if you've lived a life of narcissistic abuse. This is a sign of narcissism. Your self-abuse, your self-esteem is destroyed. You don't even know that you don't value. It's not that you don't value. You truly you can't believe anymore that you have any value. Like to ask even God for help. I was never able to go, God, please, I need some money. And it's so neurotic, you feel guilty. I don't, if you have your bills paid, I don't want to, that kind of feeling. Because that's what people who grew up with narcissists get. Because, money was always a thing. You never understood why. I thought my parents were poor. You keep denying, that's the other thing, you deny. It's like, well, I love these guys. I don't want to be critical. So any kind of criticism, you deny your own view of reality. Oh, my father doesn't want to pay for my dinner. That doesn't mean anything. He must be poor. He'll pay for his, but I should pay for my part. Don't take it personally. That doesn't mean nothing. After just little things like that for your whole life, how do you pray? How does that person make sure you show some gratitude? It's like, yeah, I'm grateful. That's all I have is gratitude. I've never seen any kindness, any generosity. They tell you, oh, have some faith. God exists and he loves you. But, okay, I'm going to have to believe that. Even though I honestly don't see it. I've never seen it. And I don't know. I have to interpret it and suspend my disbelief or I go to hell. So I finally asked God, give me a sign. And even though I'm not worthy, make it a blessing of some sort. I'm not going to tell you to suddenly give me so much money, but my problems are money. I'm really, all the emotional stuff's there, but if, I won't give you the details. And days went by, nothing again. And he felt just like my family. Like he's never noticed anything I've done. I'd forgiven my family for all my life, every day. Trying to understand. Of course, I love my family, but they're my enemy. And I was finally like, God, please, I'm losing faith that you even exist. Maybe I'm being demonically attacked. Oh, that was the other thing. I started learning about 7 signs the Holy Spirit might be leaving you. It was like, you'll lose conviction for your sins. You'll stop feeling bad about doing bad stuff. And I was like, oh, okay, yep. Little by little, I could see it. That was happening to me. And I was like, well, I don't want to go to the dark side. But Darth Vader, I know he at least takes my calls. So I gave him about 4 or 5 days and I didn't hear anything about my prayer. And I was like, fine. And I even told him, I said, if I don't hear from you, I have no choice but to stop believing that anybody's hearing my prayers. And so I stopped believing. And it's a crazy thing when you really stop believing. My logic took over. Once you finally go, okay, I did the experiment. I've done the experiment, whatever. There's no evidence that God has ever heard a thing. That whatever I think is going on, I don't know what is, but I know what it's not. Nobody loves me. It's not love when somebody ignores you. If you pray to God and you ask him, please let me know you're at least listening to me. source of a lot of my problems is that I've been neglected. Nobody sees. Nobody knows. Nobody cares. Nobody loves. I love them. They don't love me. I feel guilty for not loving God more, who's, as far as I can tell, a narcissistic abuser. Somebody who's created me like my parents. I'm gratitude that much. I want to love you. I want, But that person, the one person who, we're not wired to go, I want you to care about what I'm doing because it'll help my ego. It's just, only a narcissistically abused person would feel like they have to qualify why they're deserving of somebody who should love you, might talk back, give you any indication that they have heard a thing you said, that you exist. You're expected to believe they exist, but you can't believe that they think you exist. So, went a couple of days quitting prayer, quitting the belief in God. And I started hearing all these ideas, mocking God, mocking the Bible. Hey, how about that? 10 Commandments. Honor thy mother and father. Honor them. What do you mean? Respect them. Treat them as though they were good people. To a normal person or a real person, it's like, well, if love, you don't have to be told to honor somebody you love. I'll take it from me. Oh, thanks for the good. Should I honor my grandmother? Oh, okay. I wouldn't have thought of that without some dude in a robe and a rock. Except narcissistic people interpret that as no matter what your parents are like, never call them out. Never cut them out of your life. Never just start using their first name rather than calling them dad. Never at all complain because they're your parents. You must honor. You notice what one thing the 10 Commandments doesn't say? It doesn't say thou shalt not whip. Because Jesus taught us all how to whip ass when he went into the Pharisee, the money changers and all that. When he's whipping them with, Oh, how about this? Jesus, Bible people, I was like, hey, you better watch out. Jesus is coming back. And all of us are going, how come he's never come back? Well, what if Jesus has come back and he was pissed and he came back and kicked ass? Yeah, he loved his enemies. Yeah, he forgave them. But that doesn't mean he didn't come back and kick their ass and they're burning in hell right now. You think all the people crucified him, Jesus came back without a grudge? I wouldn't. So I think a lot of people, they kind of know, at the time it was like, and he will return. He didn't say when. And he was. He's like, hey, hang on. I'm going to go upstairs for a while. I'm coming back. You guys, you better watch out. I'll be kicking ass and taking names. No. All right. How long is that? 37 minutes? That's long enough. All right. Hey, you guys. I know this is a crazy show, but I really appreciate hanging around. I think you can probably expect more of this in the future. I don't know for sure, but something's telling me that we might be changing the focus of the show. Before I learned all this stuff about narcissism, I thought we were going to quit the show. But now I kind of feel inspired to talk about this kind of stuff. So, tune in next time and we'll talk some more about, growing up in an abusive home. All right. Did you have anything you want to add, Michael?
No, I'm good.
How about you, Nana Boujou?
Okay, bonjour.
Not a buju. Oh my, you're so cute. I could just sit and gaze at you all day long. No. All right. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much. And I will see you again. Higa waba min. Mina wa. Hoa. What? No. All right. Good job.